Hey guys, what's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ubus here, back again with another Isaac Brigham run. This time we're doing a Lazarus run. You'll notice I no longer have a streak. And I have a very long-winded explanation that can pretty easily be summed up in the words, fuck the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. So let's go, there's the seed. I don't want to talk about it, frankly. I just don't care. So, whoops. Anyway. Here we go. Let's do it. So, I'm taking the shit out of this item. I guess I should technically take these, but I'm probably gonna kill myself, so it's just gonna take longer, right? Am I gonna kill myself twice is the question. Okay, and this should put me outside as Dark Judas. Awesome. So now we should have Dark Judas, which is a large damage multiplier, combined with Lazarus's Rags damage. I don't actually know how the multipliers work together in any way. I assume they probably don't. But we're Dark Judas. We have an actual luck stat now. And, yeah. Actually, I think they might stack. I think, so there's different types of damage multipliers in this game. The one that we most commonly refer to is the like surface level damage multiplier, right? Something like we're talking Cricket's Head or Dark Judas or Magic Mushroom, etc., right? Those are like surface level damage multipliers. But there are also, every character has a damage multiplier base on the character, tied to the character. Every character has 3.5 damage to begin with, but the reason that they have seemingly different damage values is just based on this base character tied damage multiplier. For example, Eve's is atrocious. Isaac's is pretty much middle of the road, and other characters have different ones. Kane's is like 0.1 different from Isaac or something like that. They basically have the same damage. The only difference I've ever noticed is that Kane tends to one-shot dingleberries on the first and second floor. Isaac cannot do that. Other than that, their damage seems pretty much exactly the same. Takes the same amount of shots to kill pretty much any other enemy in the game. And so I think the Dark Judas multiplier is on the surface damage multiplier, similar to Cricket's Head and Magic Mushroom. But I think that the Lazarus Rags multiplier is the character multiplier. Because Lazarus's character tied multiplier is the same as Isaac's. He actually has the exact same damage as Isaac. But then when you respawn as you die respawn Lazarus Rags Lazarus, you get I believe it's like a 0.2 damage multiplier. I'm not certain on the number. I believe it's 0.2 though. I'm convinced it's 0.2. Bad Trip is probably the worst thing that was possible. Telepills is okay. Alright, okay. We're getting trolled. This is awesome. I love getting trolled. It's my favorite pastime. So much so that I love having it happen multiple runs in a row. Awesome. Sweet. I took a long break and cleared some shit off my hard drive that I didn't know was there. To hopefully see if that would, of course, it's not Spirit Hearts. It's a good item, but it's not Spirit Hearts, so I'm gonna fucking die. Almost for sure. So I cleared off my hard drive of a bunch of stuff, because I thought that might help with the whole frame rate issue I've been having. I have everything closed. I have set Isaac to high priority on my CPU, which it does tend to be a more CPU heavy game than GPU. So I assumed that would help. And I mean, it's helped, but I'm still getting little spikes here and there, which is bothering me. I really don't like it. I never get lump of coal when I want lump of coal. Alright. That's the secret. You just want to not want lump of coal. That's the way to do it. As long as you don't want lump of coal, you're good. But did you know that even if shit's uninstalled through Steam, it still saves a shitload of data on your machine for the game? Even if Steam's like, the game's gone, and it like asks you, do you want to delete local content? And you're like, yes, I do. So it's off my machine, so I have space. But then Steam is like, nah, we'll just keep 50 gigs of shit from 5 different games on your machine. So I cleared that shit out, which is awesome. I was like, man, I like having my hard drive, my main hard drive, not the one I record to. I like having my main hard drive showing up as not read in Windows 7. Because in Windows 7 it has like a bar to show you how much space is free versus how much is used. And the bar turns red if you get into, you know, a lot of it's used, a low percentage free. I believe like 10% free or something like that. Because the hard drive is, how big is it? Like 290, like 293 or something like that. And yeah, I was at like 17 gigs of space, and I was like, all right, I gotta figure something out. And so I did some looking around in folders and shit to find out which one was the largest. And then I right-clicked the Steam folder, which I presumed, considering the only games I currently have installed are indie games that collectively maybe add up to 500 megabytes, such as Binding of Isaac, Rivals of Aether, and Big Pharma, and Dota 2, which totals at about 15 gigs, including all the user data and shit. And Steam was like, yeah, we're 50 gigs. And I'm like, hang on, wait, no. Hang on, wait. No, Steam, you're lying to me. Something's disingenuous about this circumstance, and I don't appreciate it. So, yeah, basically I just went into the program files and pretty much deleted everything but the games that I actually have installed. And you know what? If I lose data, I don't even give a shit, because I haven't played any of those games in years. You gotta learn when to let go, you know? And you can't just be like, yeah, but what if I want my user data from 4 years ago? Well, if you ever wanted it, I believe sometime within that 4-year time frame you would have also wanted it. I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation. But, yeah. So, fuck it. Basically. I would consider myself, I don't know, like, I would say I'm anti-hoarder, but I also have hoarding tendencies. I do keep things a lot. But there's a point when I'm like, alright, I need to figure out what the fuck to do with all this bullshit. At that point, that is when I'm like, fuck any sort of thing about like, oh, but maybe someday I'll need it. No, fuck that. Into the trash. Toss it. It's gone. I don't give a shit. I have no emotional connection to this shit. Yes, please. But I'm still having frame rate issues, and this is bothering the shit out of me. I don't understand. I actually have no fucking idea why my frame rate is so consistently awful in Binding of Isaac. There's no explanation. It's never reached this point before. I'm reaching the conclusion that it might be because I'm recording in 60 FPS. But the weird thing is, I was recording in 60 FPS for months without frame rate issues. Unless I'm just misremembering. Shit. Unless I'm just misremembering. By the way, I'm tilting. I've been tilting all night. I literally can't stop tilting, and I apologize for it. I've tried really hard to stop tilting, and I just can't. I seem incapable. Because I keep getting Mom's pad. Why do you shoot bullets? What's the purpose of the shooting of bullets? Ooh, okay, let's go. Please, fuck, dude, shit, cocks, titties, titty sprinkles. Okay, got it out of my system. I think we're good now. I think I'm alright. I think I feel good. I mean, I have great items, right? It's not all bad. It's just that there's a lot bad. I was about to say, if I don't get Abaddon in this fucking deal with the devil, I'm gonna be upset. Wait. Oh, it's all bad trip and one telepills. Okay, yeah, okay. Fuck my entire life then. That's cool. I understand. Alright. What was I saying? Oh, I don't know. For some reason, Binding of Isaac refuses to operate on my machine anymore. Oh, good, thanks. I needed that. It's just super counterintuitive. I don't know. I've gone step by step to try and resolve the issue, and the only thing I haven't tried yet is just not recording in 60 FPS. That's it. That's the only thing I haven't tried. And I hear you. That might be a reasonable thing to attempt, because that seems like a situation where it could cause performance problems. I hear you. But the thing is, if I stop recording in 60 FPS, then everything gets ruined, right? Everything is over. It's done. We lost. Terrorists won. Right? I think that's how that works. Something like that. Toss a coin in for good luck. Literally. I mean, not necessarily. What's my luck stat? Yeah, okay. Didn't get the luck up. It should be at 1 bar because we were Lazarus and got respawned with Lazarus's rags. So that's actually one thing that I don't quite understand. So Dark Judas, when you respawn as Dark Judas, okay, I don't actually understand it at all. I feel like Dark Judas isn't considered a character, but that's weird because he should be, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. Like, in my mind, Dark Judas is literally just an item, right? It's like a surface level item. It's not a actual character changing item. Like, it turns you into Judas, I guess? No, I guess I'm Judas then, right? I don't fucking know, man. My brain can't today. I've been on this fucking tilty, I've been on the tilt-a-whirl. How about that? I've been on the fucking tilt-a-whirl all night. I just want this torment to end. I swear to God, I'm a patient person, but man, if I get tilted, there's no saving me. Tilt is a fucking horrific thing. The body is honestly the best thing I could have asked for. Oh my God, we did it. Somebody alert Reddit. Of course I'm gonna get hit in this room, even though it's slowed. Because the masks aren't slowed for some reason. That makes sense. Why are they not slowed? Everything in the room is supposed to be slowed, but the masks are the exact same speed. God, even stopwatch, these rooms are bullshit. Holy fuck. Fix your goddamn game, Edmund. You fucking monster. Stop. Okay, I get it. Haha. Wouldn't it be a hilarious fucking epic meme joke XD if I just threw nothing but stupid fucking heart plus mask rooms at this guy who's already on tilt? Haha, epic. Nice. Yeah, you got me. Good, frame rate. Nice. Sweet. I'm taking both. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I'm taking all three. What's the order? I don't think there's an order. I think, well, okay, that's not true. I think it's both of these, and then the middle one. So I got Ghost Baby, Satanic Bible, and Goathead. Okay, sure. If that was 9 lives in the middle, then that order would have been at its most relevant point. But it was not, so whatever. Let's go. That's not nice. Frame rate drops are so entertaining. I love when my games play at a shitty frame rate. Especially, my favorite thing about the shitty frame rate I'm getting in Binding of Isaac is there's no consistency to it. Oh boy, do I love inconsistencies. It's my favorite. God, nothing gets me rock hard like some good old complete inconsistency bullshit that has zero actual explanation. It's just my favorite, man. Makes my dick just look straight to the sky. Every time. I don't think I want Gimpy. I think I'm gonna say fuck Gimpy. Yeah, I think that's the correct choice, honestly. Dude, you know what my favorite thing about inconsistencies in computers is? Computers, whatever, I can't speak. Ignore me. Dude, my favorite thing about it is when I'm playing a game that I really enjoy, and then it just crashes. Oh, man. I love it. It's just the best whenever it happens. This is steps 2. So let's find our item room. Alright, we found it. Of course it's jump. Yeah, okay. Thank God I have no emotional attachment to this floor. But yeah, I'm playing a game I enjoy, and then it fucking crashes. And you know what the best thing about games that I enjoy crashing is? The fact that there's no fix to the crash. It's awesome. And this isn't a one-time thing. It's happened to like 11 games that I've played. Yoink. One of the most recent examples of it is Rocket League. I love Rocket League. It's really fun. Here's the problem with Rocket League, though. It crashes like every third game, consistently now. It's not quite well, it is. See, I say consistently because by the third game it has crashed. The timing of it actually crashing is very random. I had it crash one time 5 seconds after startup, which I think is a bit more excusable. Startup crashes are like whatever. But in the middle of games is when it pisses me the fuck off, which is when it mostly happens in Rocket League. And best thing about it is I looked into all of the troubleshooting. I even tried contacting them, and well, they didn't respond to me, which felt awesome. I felt like I was a very loved person who purchased their game, which is great. But I looked into troubleshooting and shit, and nobody had any explanation. There's nothing. So, I don't know. My computer just dislikes some games, and they just don't work inexplicably. Even more of an abomination that occurred, which made no sense, was when I was speedrunning Borderlands 2. The game would crash sometimes. Again, similar crashes, where it's like, if I play for a certain amount of time, I can expect a crash at some point. So it's consistent in that regard, but the specific timing of the crash is very inconsistent. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And so it would crash a lot. Borderlands 2 would just crash, and it was very frustrating. And the thing that fixed it temporarily, I emphasize temporarily, it fixed it for like 2 days, which was great because those were the 2 days that we were doing our run for AGDQ. So it fixed it for fucking 2 days, right? And what it was, so you might know T-Rex. Me, Broman, T-Rex, and iMisty were running it at AGDQ. But T-Rex had, he used to work at Geek Squad. Oh shit, I'm outing him. But he used to work for Geek Squad, got fired. He still had the program or whatever. The troubleshooting program that all Geek Squad people use as their Bible, basically. And so he ran it on my computer, and it's like, yeah, no, it looks clean as fuck. The only weird thing is that you've got like 20 gigs of temp files, which are supposed to flush frequently. And I'm like, what's the usual amount of temp files? And he's like, not 20 gigs. And so, you know, took care of that, and that fixed it. Again, very temporarily, like 2 days. Don't know why. Don't know how that would fix the issue. Don't know how that would cause crashes. Don't know any of that. Nothing. I don't know. It just didn't make sense. And then the worst part was it didn't even fix the crashes. It just, it might have even just been coincidental that it worked for like 2 days without crashing at that point. That might have been a complete coincidence. Might have had no correlation. Although the 20 gigs of temp files is a bit on the ridiculous side, so I'm not, I'm glad that I have learned about that, and I now check if my computer needs to, you know, lose some weight. I now actually do the checking thing, which is nice. Let's go this way. So I don't know. My computer doesn't make sense. I'm probably gonna buy a new computer at some point if I ever get money. But let's be real, that's not gonna happen. Fucking money, what's that? But yeah, if I ever do get a new computer, it'll be like the greatest day of my life. You know what I should do? I should pretend like I'm getting oppressed on the internet and harassed and open up a Patreon. I think that would do it, right? That would get me a new computer real quick. I'd have to pretend I'm not a cishet white male, though. That'd be important. Yeah, I think this is my plan now, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That sounds great. And I'm gonna viral the shit out of it, you know? I'm gonna I'm gonna be like, I got oppressed by such and such. Reminder, I have a Patreon. Like that. That's what I'm gonna do, you know? Everyone will know that I have a Patreon at that point. God, Patreon pushing is the most sleazy, most disgusting thing that exists. At least in... okay, not the sleaziest, most disgusting thing that exists. Comparatively to the perception people have about it, it is that. But in general, yeah, I guess it's not the sleaziest fucking thing ever. It's not a pyramid scheme. Or an oligopoly. Man, oligopolies are the worst. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have internet, which, I mean, you do, you're watching these videos, but if you have internet, chances are your internet service is part of, is part of the massive internet from, like, the massive phone company who are all the ISPs now, that massive oligopoly. Your provider is most likely part of it. And if you don't know what an oligopoly is, it's basically like a legal monopoly. A monopoly is you own an entire essentially like branch of product, right? So if there was one fast food place, let's say no place aside from McDonald's existed for fast food, McDonald's would have a monopoly. But it's not that simple. Technically, a monopoly is... it's a bit more specific than that. If there's no actual competition, you're not going to be breaking the law for, you know, being the only person who wants to be in on that business model. But if you're doing things like buying out the competition and shit like that, then yeah, that's when it crosses the line. An oligopoly is basically that, except instead of a singular body, it's a group of them. And that's what ISPs do. That's why all ISPs suck dick in the US. Because they're a gigantic oligopoly. Which is why I think net neutrality is a great thing. Because it'll hopefully fix that. I say hopefully. It'll make it a much more reasonable thing to be fixed than currently. So, yeah. Basically, if you have Comcast, Cox, AT&T, who's that other really shitty one? God, I don't remember it. I think I blocked it out. Time Warner, that's right, Time Warner. Well, Time Warner, aren't they like owned by Comcast? Or they're like now a sibling company to Comcast at this point? Didn't something like that happen recently? I don't know, doesn't matter. One of those big names. If you've got pretty much any of those, then you're being abused, most likely. Unless you live in a major city. Major cities, ISPs are a lot better than if you're not in a major city. So if you, for example, if I were to live in Chicago, most likely the Comcast service would be dramatically better than living in the suburbs of Chicago. Just because the amount of effort they put into the upkeep of the hardware involved in ISPs and such, they're going to put a lot more effort into it in a major city because there's just more people. And that's where like actual competition will happen. And they're not, you know, it's not like out in the suburbs where you live in this little pocket where only Comcast is available, and then you go east a few miles and the only thing available is AT&T, and you go west a few miles and it's also AT&T. But then if you go farther than that, it's all Comcast, right? They just like they trade off zones. I don't know. ISP shit is so fucking dumb. It's just so sleazy. That's why I wish Google Fiber ever came to my area. That would be awesome. I'd be all over that shit. Because one, it's affordable. Two, it's Google. And I'm not like a gigantic Google fanboy, but at the very least they try to do shit in a way that makes sense from a consumer perspective. It's not just all money all the time, right? If it was, then they'd be offering like premium services to the actual Google search engine, right? They might actually be doing that. I've never heard of it though, so I'm assuming it doesn't exist. But that would be like if they were all about the money, they do shit like that. Like it's like you can use Google however much you want, but we have this better search engine that has an extra step in the algorithm to give more specific results if you pay $5 a month, right? That would be Google all about money, and stuff like that. I don't know. They seem to care about the consumer quite substantially. So I feel like Google Fiber would be a phenomenal product to use. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Sorry I'm on tilt and I really wasn't very, I guess, outwardly positive at all. I was very, you know, I was reserved because I'm just on a tilt spiral. It's just a downward tilt spiral, and it's very difficult to get out of it. It's like it's like if you're in a whirlpool, right? How do you get out of a whirlpool? Nobody knows. Everybody who's ever gotten caught in one just fucking dies, right? That's not true. I'm sure somebody survived by like hitting the bottom of the sea floor and getting dispersed across it and then passing out and somebody finding them minutes later and their lungs are filled with water and then the person gets pulled back from the brink of death or something like that. I'm sure that's happened. At least once in history. I don't know though. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I'll see you guys in the next one.